Hey guys, Dr. Decks here. Today we are installing a stainless steel cable rail system called AGS Stainless. And it's one of those days where we've had nothing but problem after problem after problem. And it's not because of the stainless steel railing, it's because of our aluminum framing and some of the bracketry that we had pre-installed on the deck that is now in our way from us making successful connections for this fascia mount. You can see, so some days we run 100 feet in a day, and today we've done 4 posts in 4 hours. So it's just one of those days. It's been kind of a bummer. We've had challenges on every single post along this run. We're here on the last post, and again, had to tear part of the deck apart so that I could get a block in here so that we can install these outside posts. Now these are temporary, and another problem we had, they only serve a 5-inch lag bolt, and we need 8-inch lag bolts for this fascia mount. So we had to source those, which they won't be here until tomorrow. So we're just doing the best we can with what we got. So we're just temporarily setting these Fastenmaster Versalocks in as a temporary fix until we get the proper lag bolts in from our source. So, but right now I'm just trying to add the extra framing materials I need to get this installed. And it's been like I said, it's just been a struggle. Sometimes they're like this. You just gotta roll with the punches. We all have these kind of days, and today is definitely one of those days for me. We're getting to the point of nearly ready to start tensioning some cable railing, so I thought that might be kind of cool for you guys to come along and watch us tension up some cable. We'll shoot some upper footage. We basically have most of the frame set up, and we're going to start cutting the cable to length, cinching it together with crimpers, and then tensioning the cable down and getting some really beautiful look to this cable rail. Stay tuned, hang out, watch this video, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button, okay? All right, so I'm getting back to work. Enough talk, a little bit of action going on now. There you go. There is a hole. Dude, I think there's already a hole drilled. We already drilled a hole here. Yeah, it's just not this big. It's a 1/4 inch. If we go to put in the big bolts on Monday and they don't go in, and ask Bentley where my knife is. Not terrible, but I think with the gate, we're gonna have to the bottoms have to go in. So cinch the bottoms, that's perfect. And that's perfect. Okay, great. So now we gotta put the gate in. All right, so I've got this really cool gate. Beautiful, very expensive gate. There's 2 of them on this project, and they were put together by AGS Stainless. They come with the hinge pins, a latch, everything you need to kind of trick them out. So we've already put one in, and I'm just getting ready to install this one. Sweet, it clears. These guys are so precise with their measurements before we start installing. Like, I had hours worth of measurements to do for this company, and then with the gate kit, they already have the cable set to length and everything. So all we gotta do now is install our latch post over here, then this will be pretty much a done deal. So that'll open like so. Again, this rail company, this is all high end. This is twice as much as a standard cable rail system because every part is stainless steel. All the bolts, all the posts, all the top caps, every latch, every base plate cover, everything is stainless. It's a premium product. It's more of a commercial grade product. It's made here locally in a place called, what's the island? It's called Bainbridge Island. There you go. So this post will go right here. We'll install it, and then this will latch like so. This will open like this, and then we're gonna start stringing up some cables. So I'm kind of excited to show you guys that process. Instead of having all these saggy cables, we're gonna actually get something done here. So we've been setting frame rails all week, and we're just really looking forward to getting something tightened. So we'll get this last post in so that this gate's done, and then we'll get going on that. Yeah, I'm gonna go like 1 3/4 inches, so I wanna leave a little bit of extra on that. And then the edge of this, or the center of this, is 2 3/4. Wow, so we're really close to the edge on this one. Okay, so we want to be, so you're happy with this distance, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's great.
Okay, so we'll leave that there. Keep that square. Wow, we're really close to the edge here, Rylan, but that's so be it. So now we need a 1/4-inch drill bit. Could use that one.
Why is that?
Yeah, why not? I want the new easy bit to use. Well, let's see how easy it is, right? No, that's pretty good, man.
That looks like butter.
That's very buttery compared to what we've been doing over the last few days. So, yeah, excellent.
Go lighter.
Oh, it's got to come back towards you.
Yep.
I didn't think it had to go back that much, but it does. Oh, you're almost there. Your money right there. You're close. Let's see how it closes, and then we'll adjust from there. That's definitely going to make a difference, but for all intents and purposes, that looks pretty good. All right, here's the ultimate gate shut test. You just do a little bit of pressure. Oh man, I love this gate. We spent all week doing this, and I got a mess that I want to get fixed. I want the clients having people over this weekend. I want them to be able to use this deck. We're gonna get some cable cut, crimped together, and tightened up so that they can use this deck after, let's see, we started this deck on January, February, March, April, May. So we have been here for exactly 5 months today. We've been on this deck for 5 months. So we are ready to kind of button up and finish up. So let's go. 2 3/4. Okay guys, so all the cable that comes from the company has swaged ends or crimped ends on one side, and then the other side is just long. So you can see all these cables are sticking through the posts. We have to cut them to length and crimp the other end. This is the side of the cable that's going to be crimped, okay? So this is a stainless steel part. This is a little friction washer that's inside of this. Once we cinch the cable up, these go tight, and then it creates a little bit of friction so that this doesn't want to spin or come loose. It's like a double nut situation, okay? So this has a hex end on it so that you can adjust and crimp. Now, these threaded ends, they only go in so deep. So what you have to do is figure out how deep it goes. I always mark the part, how deep I need to go so that I know where to cut my cable. So when the cross section comes in, wherever that needs to be, I can mark the cable and know where to cut it. So I'm gonna thread this up to a certain point, basically to the washer, and then I'm going to put this through like so. Now I have my mark. I can see my mark on the inside right here. So there's my mark. That's where I want to cut the cable to length. So I'm gonna pull my cable tight, okay? Make sure this is tight. And then I'm gonna mark my cable. I usually would use a black Sharpie. I just don't happen to have one on me. So I'm just gonna go ahead and mark the cable like so. And that's my cut line for the cable. Then I'll come over here. I have a couple different cable cutters. I like this pair here. And I use this foam pad to put it on. And then I'll go like this and I'll cinch down. And now that cable's cut. Now I can go ahead and put it on my fitting. I make sure that the cable fits nice and equal. Then I'll put it on, and you gotta make sure that you spin a little bit so that you don't fray the ends of the cable. And then I push it all the way in like so, okay? Now I can crimp this end. Sorry, we got a lot of lawn maintenance going on today. These are brand new crimpers from AGS Stainless, and they told me 3 crimps in a direct line. Now, normally I would crimp this and flip it 90 degrees, crimp it, flip it 90 degrees and crimp it. But they assured me I can just do 3 crimps. And again, I'm using the pad on the deck to kind of keep me from marring up the deck. It's a great little ad to have right here. Okay, so you got to give it a little pressure, one, and then you take it apart, and then you move it again, and you can give it a little bit of a gap, crimp it again. I like to keep everything in a direct line if I can. Okay, 2, and then 1 more. Okay, it is bending the cable a little bit, or the ferrule a little bit, so we might straighten that out before we cinch it up. But I'll give it a 3rd crimp. And since everything's brand new, it's really tight. Okay. So that looks really good. Okay. That looks really good. It's crimped really well. So now I've got this cut to length. You can kind of see where the length of the cable is. This will go in here. This will go to here. And then we'll start tightening that up. We have more slack on the other end. If this doesn't cinch up quite right, we have slack on the other end as well, so that we can bring this in tighter because we're able to tension from both ends. So even if you're off a little bit, it's okay. As long as you want to make sure that this little rubber washer gets concealed inside of the barrel nut. If that happens, then you're good to go. Okay, so now it's just getting all these cut, crimped, and then we can go into tensioning. Get it going, and you're gonna get 3 or 4 turns out of it before it starts to get tight. Don't spend the time to tighten these up right now. Get it to this point, and I'd be so happy. All right, guys, so now that I have these cut to length and I just have them loosely installed, when you're installing cable rail, you need to tension the center first and then start doing alternating cables up and down until you have your final tension. These 2 are a little snug, but not a whole bunch. You don't want these sounding like a guitar string. You just want to get a nice snug fit. Most people over tension cable railing. Some people don't. Sometimes it stretches and sags a little bit, but this is a high quality surgical grade stainless steel, and it's not going to stretch a whole bunch. So I have this special tool that I'm going to crimp on the number 5, because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I'll go on number 5, which is right here, and I'm going to cinch down on that, and then I'll go to 6. I'll go 5, 6, 4, 7, and etc. until I am done. My goal is to get this black washer hidden, and I have a little mini 1/4-inch socket set with the right size driver on it. And that's what I'm gonna use to tension. I have a couple different size sockets, but this one's nice because as you get lower to the deck, I can run it in a circle, okay? So there's my first one. That feels really good. So I'm gonna let that go. I'm gonna go to this one next. So as I start tensioning all these cables, these are gonna loosen up a little bit because you're starting to give a little bit of a bow to the post. If you over tension your cables, you're gonna put a lot of bow in the post, and then you're gonna have issues, okay? So like I said before, you really don't wanna overdo it. You can kind of tell when things start to get tight, and see it's starting to lift my wrench like that. You're getting into that snug area. So it's okay to back off, do the next one up, and then worry about finishing your final tension at the end. We just want to get everything to a point of snugness, and then we'll go from there. So you can see how these things are just super droopy, but a few turns of the socket and now they become nice and straight. You can, I don't know, what do you think, Cal? It's like a low bass string right there. You know, I have this patio cover post in my way, so it's a little bit of an obstruction, but it's not that big a deal. We can work around all that stuff. Not gonna hurt us. Okay. Because it's that kind of stuff, oh, Wow, look how loose these got. All right, guys, so now everything I've tensioned once, and now that the whole post is under tension, you'll notice that the middle is a little looser. As you go down, this one's really loose, this is really loose, so on and so forth. And they start to get tighter as you go down. So I'm just gonna go through and cinch up the middle one more time just to make it fit right. And then I'm gonna stop. And this time it doesn't take as much tension to make it fit. If you keep over tightening the cable, you're gonna sit here and chase this all day long, and you don't wanna do that. You can keep putting too much tension on the posts. Because these posts are stainless steel, they can withstand a lot more pressure than aluminum post will. So that's kind of nice as well. There we go, got good tension there, a little loose there. This one definitely needs some tensioning. And it's just kind of going through and making sure that everything feels about the same, and it's not loose, but you don't need it wound up so tight like a high-pitched guitar string. These are pretty good. This one is still a little loose. I'm just gonna put a little bit more tension on that one. And then I might come back next week and give it one more go through, but I'm pretty happy with that. All right, guys, so that's how we completed our cable rail system. If you like this video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, hit that bell icon to be notified when we're putting out new content. And thanks for watching this video. Leave a comment below. Let me know what you think of this system. It is primo, and it's one of my favorite we've ever done as far as cable rail goes. So thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day.